This is Paul Hodgson from Box of Frogs here in Huddersfield. www.b for Bravo, O for Oscar, F for Foxtrot.uk.com. This is an extension of another video that I've already done called NX2 Portrait Retouch. I haven't got the ability to put any text on this video, so if you went to Vimeo, vimeo.com/207 53827 and watch that video. I talk you through a portrait retouch. What I'm going to do on this particular video is choose a very different image than you'll see on the other video, and effectively I'm going to do predominantly all exactly the same steps, but it's the final step that I find has become quite interesting actually, to add some definition, some contrast. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this image here and I'm going to open it up. I'm just going to close this down a second. Close those down so we have a better view of the screen. And then I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger. I can do Control-0 to maximize the screen image, or the image on the screen even. So there's the image. Not an especially great one. Lovely girl. My problem is that I didn't take a particularly good photograph of her on this particular image. Background's a little bit too light, should have dropped it by perhaps one stop, but I'm not actually going to do anything at all to the background. If I was going to keep this image, I actually would. Excuse me, but I'm not. This is all about the face, and let's go from there. So, usual stuff that I do first of all, using my control key, I'd come into a closer view of the face, come up to this elastoplast tool up here with my square brackets, right and left. Right makes it bigger, left makes it smaller. I just simply click once, get rid, just keep clicking. It's very quick. This isn't going to be a perfect job. I'm trying to keep my videos, even now, to less than 10 minutes. Let's hope I can do that. I'm also using quite a slow PC, so I've got to wait for it to catch up. In fact, I think it's actually pretty much keeping up with me at the moment. So there we are. That's pretty much what I do in terms of... Oh no, here's one. I missed one. Need to get my eyes checked. So let's pull back out of the image, and that's fine. I think that's actually pretty okay. Now, if the entire image were darker, I'd create a separate step. New step. I tend to use LCH. So if the background, if the entire image were a lot darker, I would raise the exposure somewhat. And in fact, I might actually do that anyway. So let's keep it. I've just moved this the white slider in a little bit. I'm going to go back to my usual trick of using the lasso tool. I'm going to very, very quickly and as you can see, very roughly. This is all to do with trying to keep the speed of the time of this video shorter. So I've got this loose selection around her. I'm coming up to this this fill button here. I'm going to add, so I'm going to use the plus symbol on the fill button and click once. The background hasn't altered, so if you just watch the background for a moment as I toggle this on and off, it's just about raising the exposure on the lady. What I always do is come to the selection tool, just have a look at how hard edged that edge is. So I'm going to use the paint and fill mask and just soften the edge somewhat. Let's have a look at the difference. All we're going to do now is watch her hair, her face, and the décolletage, as some of these makeup adverts go on about, which is the chest area. Okay, so that's pretty much all I'm going to do at that point. Now, with this step, with this step activated, anything inside of that marching ant symbol, selection even, I can add more steps. And the way in which you do that, and forgive me, this is a PC terminology. I don't know what it is on a Mac. If I hold my Shift key down and come to the top of the screen, I've got anything within Adjust and Filter I can add to that selection. So it's the face, some of the hair, her chest. This is the last step I actually wanted to show you, because I'm not going to talk about sharpening. Go back to my other video that I mentioned at the beginning of this video about sharpening and how I do some of my sharpening and some of the settings. I'm going to come over to I'm going to go back to Filter. I'm going to go down to black and white conversion. I've still got the Shift key held down. I'm going to click once. Okay, so everything inside of that selection has gone to black and white. I'm going to come down to the black and white conversion. Effectively, what it's done is it's attached itself to the previous alteration within. Hang on, I think I've got a dog barking. Hang on. Hello, back. Yep, student selling dusters at the door. Dog going mad. Don't need any dusters. Need to hang on to the dog. Right. So where were we? So inside the marching ant, anything that I attach to that original alteration, and I've just effectively this first LCH step raised the exposure somewhat. I'm adding, as long as I hold the Shift key down, I can add as many steps as I want moving forwards. So what I tend to do is just by move the filter up a little bit. The nose is starting to blow out. Shift H will show me if anywhere is going to print to white, and there's a spot probably on her eye. If I go Shift H again, yeah, it's on her eye. So I'm happy with that. So we haven't got any blowing out here. I'm going to come down to the opacity, and I'm going to change the opacity from normal to overlay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the opacity of that particular adjustment to around about 20-ish. And on this black and white layer, I'm going to toggle it on and off. Just watch her face and hair. It's quite a nice little adjustment. Wouldn't use it on every image. And of course, you can strengthen the how much that image is affected by adding more of the opacity. So at 40, it now looks like that. I drop it down. See what 30 looks like. This is very much trial and error per image. Now I'm going to go back to 20. I've found most of the time, in fact, for what appeals to me, 20 is about it. And there we have that. Now, if you wanted to, you can now go back and make a new step. Black and white layer. Again, move the filter strength up. Shift H to keep an eye on, making sure that nothing is going to blow out. Completely accept that the eye, that tiny wee spot there has got something. But leaving the mode in normal, you can start to bring a little bit of colour back. Kind of has that desaturated, not really sure what it is kind of look really, but sometimes it's really appealing, at least to me. Anyway, so I'll just leave that not activated at the moment, and as usual, I'll go up to view, compare the images, compare with the original. I'll need to move them over in a second when they appear. So let's just move that one out of the way a bit and move that one in, and you can see a difference. Well, I sometimes I don't think it is an improvement, but on many occasions I do think it's improvement. I hope again kept this just slightly under 10 minutes. I must talk less, learn to talk less. I hope this has been of use. Leave me some feedback. That's great. Thanks very much and have a fabulous day.